It is a coming together, isn't it? Many of you here, many more of us. Isn't it painful to want something that you believe you cannot have? Of course it's painful because it's going this way and this way at the same time. Nobody can go this way and this way at the same time without an intense sort of tug of war happening within you. And that feeling of tug of war is what your emotions are about. In other words, any negative emotion says you've introduced resistance to your own desire. You've given birth to a desire, but you're not in alignment with it. So your emotions tell you not only how much energy you're summoning by the power of your desire, but of that energy you're summoning, how much of it you are allowing to flow through you in this moment in time. Your guidance system is your best friend. We would never want you to not appreciate negative emotion. Negative emotion is not an enemy, it's guidance. Negative emotion is letting you know it's all right, but you're introducing contradictory thought here. And as long as you're introducing contradictory thought, then there's some sort of static going on. So what you're asking for is delayed, and meanwhile, you probably don't feel all that good. The better you feel, the more in alignment with who you really are, you are. That's why we call it the art of allowing. The art of allowing what? The art of allowing who you are in this moment. Jerry and Esther have a navigational system in their vehicles. A wonderful contraption. Jerry's beginning to get letters that we're talking about it too much. But it's the most important thing that we have to talk with you about, because if you don't understand your guidance system, then you're just a cork bobbing about on a raging sea, trying to follow guidelines by endless committees that have decided to assign to you your behavior. And many of you have been trying to follow those guidelines only to discover that they're not all that interested in your well-being. Turns out they're interested in their well-being. Who would have thought it? As they say to you, you should not be selfish and follow your own desire. What they're really saying to you is, you should not be selfish and follow your desire. You should let me demand that you selfishly follow my desire. And we say, you can't blame them for trying, because everyone is oriented. Everyone is oriented. Everyone, even the one-celled amoeba in the ocean, is oriented to perspective of self and to desire to thrive. And so you innately, without even trying, just naturally acquiesce to your own personal desire. It's what your guidance system is based upon. So Jerry and Esther have a navigational system in their vehicles. There are satellites in the sky and an antenna on the roof and a computer brain inside the vehicle. And when they want to go someplace, they just program their destination. They put in the city, they put in the street, and even the street number in some cases. And then Magellan says, please proceed to the highlighted route. And she will guide them verbally and visually right to where they say they want to go. Now, if they decide that they're going to take a little detour, make a fuel stop, or go to Taco Bell or some wonderful place along the way, Magellan will say to them, as she recognizes that they are not on the path that she has prescribed, Magellan, it is a woman's voice, the man's voice was too bossy. Magellan will say, please proceed to the highlighted route. And if Jerry and Esther do not heed her, again she will say, please proceed to the highlighted route. She becomes frantic. Not really. But she becomes insistent. Please proceed to the highlighted route. 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 Jerry says, shut that broad up. Eventually, if you continue to ignore her guidance, she will say, recalculating route. In other words, she's wise enough to know that her job is to get you from where you are to where you say you want to be. And she never forgets, for the time of this programming, where you said you want to be. And so she is relentless about calculating the directions between wherever you are and where you want to be. Magellan never has said to them, not one time ever, Where have you been? How long have you been there? Why didn't you listen last time? I'm not going to tell you you didn't listen to me before. You think you're so smart, you go your own way, you don't pay any attention to me, now you're on your own. Instead, Magellan just continues to do what she was created to do. Same as your guidance system. Magellan will say, if Jerry and Esther go the opposite direction of what she has determined, Magellan will say, when it is possible, make a legal U-turn. That's really what your own negative emotion is saying. When possible, make a legal U-turn. Your negative emotion is just like Magellan. Your negative emotion is saying, please proceed to the highlighted route. Please proceed to the highlighted route. You said you want this, but you're thinking about this. You're off your path. You said you want this, but you're looking at this. You're off your path. You said you want more money, but you're talking about not having enough money. You're off your path. You said you want to be well, but you're keeping lists of how sick you are. You're off your path. Your guidance is with you in every moment, in the form of emotions. Sometimes people say, Abraham, is it normal for all hell to break loose in my life when I begin doing Abraham work? And we say yes. Because when you become more specific about what you desire, you activate energy that is moving through you. You get your juices flowing, so to speak. And then, if you have activated beliefs or thoughts that contradict your desire, you feel the discord within you. Some would say, well, then I don't believe I should want anything. And we say, good luck on that one. The entire universe is oriented to produce new desire within you. The eternalness is about that. In other words, we cannot, any of us, cease exposure. Your consciousness will never stop. The lights never go out, friends. You will never stop being the consciousness that you are. You will never stop pulsing and attracting. We are all eternal beings. And so we are all exposed to continuous experience that is causing us to continue to ask. That's how this expanding universe continues forever, eternally, no ending. Some of our physical friends don't take that as particularly good news. When you feel tired or when you feel overwhelmed, some have said to us, Abraham, when I leave this body, I'm not coming back, so tell everybody that needs to know. And we always say, we'll carry your message. But we also say, fortunately, you don't make those decisions from your disconnected human perspective. You make those decisions from your eternal, knowing that all is well, wanting more of life, wanting to be the creator that you are perspective. So, what this gathering is about really is about helping you to come consciously into awareness of who you are. It's about helping you to realign with the energy of your source so that you can feel the vitality and the clarity and the love and the appreciation and the joy of life experience. That is who you really are. It's about helping you to remember and rediscover who you are. It's about restoring you to the vibrational energy point that you were at the time that you came forth into this physical body. It's about helping you to remember who you really are so that you can get on with the business that you came forth to do. Wouldn't you like to fulfill your reason for being? Wouldn't you like to fulfill the powerful reason that you had when you made the decision to come forth into this time-space reality to begin with? Wouldn't you like to get on that path so that you can get on with what you came here to do? And do you know what you came here to do? You came here to have a joyful experience. You came here not to fix things that are broken, not to reclaim something that has been lost, not to set the world straight. You came here to be the joyful being that you are, to have exposure to experience that would cause you to uniquely ask from your unique perspective so that source energy could uniquely answer you. You came forth to add to all that is. You are a creator. You are a co-creator. You came forth to interact with others so that collectively, singularly, small groups, large groups, you could have exposure that would cause your personal preference to exude from you. We call it a rocket of desire. And when it happens, it is answered. No exceptions. So we want to help you to let yourselves off the hook here today by saying to you, law of attraction is the culprit behind all of that. Give yourself a little bit of benefit of the doubt and say, it's not my fault. Law of attraction is holding me in these negative thoughts. Blame always feels better than guilt, don't you think? Law of attraction is holding me in these negative thoughts. But what we really want you to achieve understanding of as a result of being here with us today, we want you to leave this room knowing that no matter where you are, predominantly on this emotional scale, you can more easily than you have ever believed move into a higher vibration. It's much easier than you have previously thought, especially once you get the hang of how vibrations work and about how they feel to you, and most importantly, about what to do about it. Now, we don't want you to work too hard at trying to memorize where the emotions are. We've noticed as we listen to you that almost without exception, you can feel which feels better, blame or guilt. So, here's depression or despair, and here's rage, and here's anger. Where's guilt? It's down here, isn't it? Where's fear? It's down there too, isn't it? Where's unworthiness? It's down there too. Where's blame? Oh, it's way up here. Because isn't there some feeling of control? Now, this is what we really want you to hear. We really want you to recognize that your emotions are about empowerment, which means connection, or disempowerment, which means not as much connection. In other words, it's all about that. And so anything that is more empowering is up the scale, isn't it? So doesn't it make sense to you? So many people that you see around the world that are seeking revenge, maybe even the guy on the street next door that is punching your tire or whatever, doesn't it make sense that revenge somehow feels better to them? And of course, you don't want to encourage a world full of revenge, because if there are a lot of people out for revenge, it might make you feel more vulnerable. But friends, we do. We would far rather see them feeling revenge and regaining some of their power. Of course, we don't want them to get stuck there. We would like them to keep moving up into their empowerment. We would like them to discover that no one can disempower them but them. We would like them to understand that nothing can take your power away from you other than choosing a thought that doesn't allow your connection to who you really are. Good. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We see it as our value to you to help you to determine where your set point is, if you have something that you're wanting to move up the emotional scale. The set point is that place that you practice most. And you could have different set points on different subjects. You could have a set point relative to abundance that could be up here in the place of positive expectation, while your expectation about your physical body could be in a place of worry or despair. In other words, you might have given up on relationships while you might have a business project that you are feeling very good about. In other words, different subjects have different set points. But all of them sort of meld together into this vibrational stance that most of you feel most of the time, because the subjects that are on your mind are the subjects that are most activated. And so as you come to us here today, we can feel your vibrational set point, and we'll help you to consciously identify it. And then we will show you what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes about moving up the emotional scale. We want you to understand that no matter where you are, it can get better, and it is supposed to. We want you to understand that life is supposed to be good for you, and if it isn't in some way, then you have a little bit of work to do. But the work is not so great as you thought, and the results are astonishing, because a little bit of movement in your emotional meter makes a great deal of difference in what begins to manifest. It's sort of like turning the hub of the wheel, and what's turning out there on the perimeter is a great deal more.